Today we're going to talk about the 5 things needed to make a complete sentence, or what we call a simple sentence. So the first thing we need to know are the 5 things. So the 5 things we need to know: we need to have a subject, we need to have a verb, we need to have a capital letter at the beginning of the sentence, we need to have end punctuation at the end of the sentence, whether that is a period, an exclamation point, or a question mark, and we need to make sure it makes sense. So if I said, the cat draws a picture, probably not going to happen, right? It doesn't make sense. Cats don't draw unless it's a very intelligent cat. So it needs to make sense. Alright, so the first thing we need to know is, what is a subject? So a subject is a noun. So a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. So an example of a person is a teacher, or a student, or the president, or a mom or a dad, or whatever. An example of a place is a school, right, or the cafeteria, or the office, or the house or home. Those are all examples of places. We also have things, so desks, pencil, eraser, those types of things. And then finally we have ideas, which would be an example of things you can't really see, such as marriage. I can see 2 people married, but I cannot see marriage itself. Okay, so that's the idea. So those are subjects. Again, and those are usually the first things that come at the beginning of a simple sentence. The second thing we need to know, or remind ourselves of, are the different verbs. So verbs can be in one of 3 categories. We have action, we have linking verbs, and we have helping verbs. So first, action verbs can be body or mind. Examples of body action verbs would be jumping, shouting, singing, talking, those things that we can see with our eyes. Mind verbs would be still actions, but they're things we cannot see. So thinking, I can't see somebody thinking, I can't see somebody dreaming, I can't see somebody imagining. So those are all mind action verbs. The next thing we have are linking verbs. Linking verbs do just that. An example would be, if you look at the picture here, we see that they look like chains. So that's what a linking verb does. It links the subject and the adjective. So here are the linking verbs: is, am, are, was, were, be, being, and been. It's a good idea to memorize those. So she is tall, so it's describing she. So what is she? She is tall. I am smart. What am I? I'm smart. So it's describing I. So the is and the am are used as connecting the subject and the adjective. Finally, we have helping verbs. Helping verbs do just that. They help the main verb, so they come before the main verb. So again, if we looked at these, those are examples of main verbs. And so will go. Will is a helping verb. Have eaten. Have is the helping verb. So in some cases we might have several helping verbs before the main verb. So she will have had gone. So lots of them: will, have, had. Those are all helping verbs before the main verb, gone. So those are examples of verbs. And last, we're going to talk a little bit about simple sentences. An example of a simple sentence is, I eat ice cream. So the first thing we want to do is ask ourselves, what is the verb? And that's spelled incorrectly. Sorry, that should be, what is the verb? So what's the verb in this sentence? It is eat. So we're going to actually mark that with a V for verb. So then we ask ourselves, who or what did the verb? So who or what eats the ice cream? And so that would be the subject, and that is I. So I eat ice cream. And we mark that with an S. So we always want to mark the main subject and the main verb of a sentence. And then, finally, we always check. And this is where students in English classes, math classes, science classes, they mess up. You need to check your work. Did you capitalize the beginning of a sentence, and did you end with punctuation? One quick reminder is that there are 4 different types of simple sentences. First, one type is called a simple SV, which we saw back here. So we see an S and a V. We also have an SSV, an SVV, and an SSVV. Simply put, it just means there is one subject doing one thing or action in this. So she is tall. She jumped, right? So that's easy. This just means that there are 2 subjects doing the same exact thing. So Bob and Sally jumped. Bob and Sally are smart. Okay? This one means that there's one subject doing 2 different things. So Mr. Karasak went to school and played the guitar. So Mr. K is the subject, and I did two things, went and played. And then finally we have a subject, verb, verb. That means 2 subjects doing the 2 exact same things. So Bob and Sally went to school and ate lunch. So both Bob and Sally went and ate. So that is an example of those. So let's just do one example of a subject, verb, verb. So here we have an example of a subject, verb, verb using a linking verb and an action verb. So the first question we ask ourselves is there a verb? And the answer is yes, there are actually 2. So we want to ask ourselves twice, so what is the action? So we have a linking verb, are. So are is the linking verb to smart, the adjective smart, and like is the action, right? We can see somebody like something, or at least we can, that might be a mind action. Now we ask ourselves who are smart, or what are smart. So who are smart? Mark and Valerie. And who like music? Oh, same people, Mark and Valerie. So we see an S, V, V simple sentence. And that is how you make or create simple sentences and mark simple sentences with the S, V, V. If there are any questions, you can always rewind or go back. And you can also ask Mr. Karasak.